Hey guys, so I have been asked a few times to do a meal planning video with how I lay out my menu for the week and do all of my meal planning. And it's not too terribly exciting, but it does make my grocery shopping, list making, school planning life a little bit easier, so I thought I would show you. So basically, I come up with 20 meals at the beginning of the month and I write them in my planner, 10 with meat and 10 that are meatless, just because we do like to kind of alternate, regular meals and vegetarian meals. So I come up with 10 of each and then write them in my planner so that I can pull from them when it comes down to planning the meals for the week. So basically, I start by writing down any meals that didn't get used from the month prior, so it just kind of gets it all out of my brain and gets it down on paper. So I'll start by checking at the end of last month and see if there were any leftover meals that did not get cooked because we went out or we were invited to someone's house or so forth and so on. Now, every Friday we always have pizza, and then every Sunday I like to give myself a little creative space, if you will, to come up with a meal that I maybe saw on Pinterest or just something. But that's just me. I really like to cook, so no pressure there. You can totally just make like hot dogs for dinner on a Sunday if you want to. Just the way that I like to do things is to have a little bit of creative space on Sundays. So I come up with 20 meals for that reason. Sundays are kind of, not planned out until that week. And then pizza is on Fridays. So that only leaves 5 days a week that I need to have traditional meals written down. So, and I really like to get it all out of my head at the beginning of the month, and then I don't have to, when I'm sitting down to make a grocery list, I don't also have to come up with meals on the spot. So I start by writing them all down, coming up with things that, sometimes I'll do like 5 chicken and 5 beef if I'm really needing some help. It just makes it a lot easier to think, okay, hamburgers, meatloaf, meatballs, just something simple if I break it down like that instead of just looking and going, oh my gosh, I have to fill 20 lines of space. So yeah, I just sit down, write all my ideas out, and then I go back through and write down all of the side dishes after that. So just the main courses get written down, and then on occasion, if I need to, I'll look back through other months' worth of meals that I've crossed out already that we've used. So say I'll go back to May and say, okay, what did I cook? I'll look at one of the meatless meals. The meatless ones are usually the ones that I have trouble coming up with, and I'll just, write down salad. So I'll go back and I'll flip back through to previous months and see if there's anything there that we haven't had in a while, and then I'll write that down. And that helps me, if it's all kept in the same planner or notebook, then I don't necessarily lose track of too many recipes because I have so many cookbooks. It would be a nightmare to sit down and try to get an idea. I'll get sucked into that and never come out. So that's basically how I start my meal planning. And then I just go through and write down, those 20 meals. Okay, then like I said, if I didn't write down the side dishes as I was writing down the meal, then I'll go back through and make sure that I alternate what vegetables and sides and carbs we're having with each meal. So there's a bunch of different ideas there. So I'll go through and fill in the blanks as far as, we need rice with this and we need mashed potatoes with this, and things like taco night, I'll just write down toppings so that when I'm going to make my grocery list that week, I don't forget to, include pico de gallo and sour cream or avocados or whatever. It just really, it gets it all out of my head and onto paper so that I save myself some effort when I'm sitting down to make the dreaded grocery list. Then the last thing I'll do is I will put about 5 to 7 breakfast ideas in the little side panel just so that we don't stick with cereal and oatmeal every day for the month. And that helps me, again, when I'm making our grocery list. I'll try to pick like 3 of those things and just rotate them through each week when I'm making the weekly meal plan. Because we eat our leftovers from lunch or from dinner for lunch the next day with a bunch of raw fruits and vegetables to kind of lighten it up. So I don't necessarily have to plan for lunches, just the dinners and the breakfast. And so then when it's time to actually sit down and plan for, 2 weeks of our groceries or 2 weeks of meals, I will just go through and I'll pick a dinner with meat and write it down, and then I'll pick one of the vegetarian options and write it down the next day, and then alternate. So it's basically just pulling them and plugging them in, copying and pasting on our actual weekly calendar. And then if you are somebody who shops by sales or has coupons, there's usually between those 20 different options, there's going to be something that will work as far as sale flyers and all that. So for example, if I'm going to Sam's Club and one of my meals is baked potatoes and salad, and I know I'm going to have to buy like a 10-pound bag of potatoes, then I'll make sure that we'll have meatloaf and mashed potatoes that same week, so I'm only buying one bag of potatoes. So there's a way to kind of coordinate it all so that you're not so, I guess, just so disconnected in your grocery list and kind of all over the grocery store. Just kind of make it a little more budget friendly. So yeah, that's basically it. That's what I do. I just write down a bunch of meals, have our usuals on the calendar, like pizza night and all that, and then just pull, copy, and paste, and it makes it really simple. I sit down with my grocery list, look at what I already had planned out, at the beginning of the month, and it just makes my life a lot easier. So I would be really interested to hear how you guys meal plan, especially when you're balancing, running a household, if you're homeschooling, if your kids are in school and you're running around crazy. Just, let me know how you guys grocery plan or meal plan in the comments below, because I think we could all use a little bit of help in these areas every now and then. So that is that. I hope that helped some of you who are interested, and I will talk to you later.